Hello everyone and welcome to your collective tarot guidance for the week of December the 5th, 2022. Before I begin a reading, I would just like to say a couple of words about the karmic importance of this period and how the coming weeks and also coming months are going to feel like from a more spiritual perspective. Now, if you remember, just around this time last year, me and many other astrologers and mystics have been comparing that period to a very narrow birth canal where we were the newborn in that sense, and it was pretty tough, it was pretty tense, it wasn't an easy birth, symbolic birth of course, due to the Saturn and Uranus squares of 2021, and then we had the same square but in different configuration in 2022. But perhaps in this period we're going to be entering to the continuation of that story, because easy or not so easy, symbolically again of course, we were kind of born, and we are what we are in a way. There is a lot of things that we don't know about ourselves. Maybe before we thought, we kind of know what needs to be known, the big picture of ourselves, who we are, what we want in life, who we want to share our lives with, so much, so very many details. But the celestial conversations, first of all, the Pluto-Saturn conjunction, then the Great Conjunction, then Neptune's meeting with Jupiter, and the myriad of eclipses which really cut cords, and then the South Node in Scorpio and Jupiter in Pisces that really purged out the deeply rooted karmic bonds. Some of that felt very heavy, because you can imagine it loosens karmic bonds, even those which we don't want to loosen. Yet, we don't know and we cannot know our big picture energetic needs. So that is why something infinitely more intelligent kind of knows it for us. For example, just what we call the higher self. It kind of knows when the time comes for us to have a greater degree of energetic freedom in our life, mental freedom. And that means that our, basis, our roots, our territory is shaken up a little bit. So family dynamics change. Fate intervenes and separates, for example, from family, from loved ones, but of course, these things are lived as dramas, they're not so pleasant, but sometimes the bigger picture is for us to be free, and we cannot provide that kind of freedom to ourselves. So of course Saturn does the timing. It's time to leave, it's time for changes, it's time for everyone to live their life their way. But this also has a positive sense, because there are some family dynamics and deeply rooted energies which are not favorable, like old, jealousies and conflicts and traumas, what you did, what they did. So these, of course, was also, we were made to be all that much more aware of them, and that kind of represented some kind of resolution and, karmic energies. And the South Node is still in Scorpio, so this is still ongoing for a little bit, but the intensity of that's where it's not good. It is just quieting down. The pus is out, so the healing, so to speak. So where I want to go with this, we are different, very different. We thought we knew ourselves and so much about life, about everything a few years ago, but now we do feel a certain way like infants, like Taurus energy. Taurus as a, how should I say, life cycle or nature cycle or a being's cycle in life is when, you know, the baby learns to walk, control five sense, not control necessarily, but, you know, use five senses, be able to interpret with five senses. Common sense, you know, when the child becomes operational physically, when, you know, you don't really need to stay with the child, you know, be that close to it 24/7, because the child is, as I said, operational psychologically. This, you know, there is a saying, at least here in Romania, the first 7 years of life are when we inherit our family's moral values and behavioral patterns and, you know, values, so to speak. So it kind of will determine our behavior in a certain way. So those are also very Taurian because they will be deeply rooted. Not impossible to change, but, you know. So that's what we're doing in a larger sense right now. In this cycle, we're learning those values about ourselves, really, that will stay with us for maybe the next 18 years, but more, of course. Because this is bigger karmic energy, not just the typical nodal cycle. Anyway, and there is a strong purging element here to Uranus running through Taurus until 2026. And this is important because this purges out the past great conjunction in 2000 in Taurus, which was highly toxic. So it has to purge out those commodities and comforts that plague us right now, like the smartphones and, you know, in each and every way that technology made us stray abominationally from nature. So yeah, that's being in a way raised to the surface for us to be aware of it and then healed. But the other thing is we also have to teach ourselves the new values, new way of being. And this is really, really important because, as I said, we're in that way infants. So we're a sponge, we're learning. Experiences are very, very important right now. And to make this even more severe, as I said, in a few months, that's when we also need to give birth to our future. So it's us activating our creational energies. And that is a big deal because we don't have all that much experience in how things are in this new reality, our new version, and it's undeniable that these karmic energies and everything has changed us a lot. So we need to start creating something. We need to start holding the frequency stable, steady of our futures. And that is gonna be quite a challenging task because we're, as I said, we're also inexperienced ourselves. So that will be what will will basically crystallize our roles. Some will be more like, and don't take this in a radical way, like warriors, for example, cardinal energies, and not necessarily what their star chart says, what their new function is going to make them be like, in a sense, what they're going to grow into, evolve into. Others more supportive, others thinkers, others whatever, but we need to kind of also give our contribution to where reality calls us to go, what to become. We also need to give our 50% contribution, our saying to this. So everything that happens to us, and please believe me, even if it's like what might seem to stagnation or nothing is really, that is very, very important because you still are processing something. But the frequency that you emanate, what you are right now, is the most important. The rest doesn't matter to the universe, doesn't matter, it shouldn't matter to you. So don't don't try to rationalize this few couple of next few couple of months all that much, because as I said, there is strong creational energy at play. So all the best thing we can do is to allow and to discipline it, as in to stop and cut the cord to all those directions where we don't agree to evolve into. That is our biggest role. What we do like, what does surprise us, what is a good taster sample, that of course we can very well incorporate. So yeah, after this long story, and I'm so sorry, let's see the actual guidance. But I felt the need to just make this introduction because, you know, Jupiter is very, very strong right now, and it will then move into Aries, and that's when action time for all of us, our own ways. Okay, so let's see. Well, I'm not gonna include this card because it's the Tree of Life. And we kind of know that we are leaping somewhere. Upper, on an upper branch, on a lower branch, we'll see. Okay, so the message here, if especially for this week, is well, the Queen of Coins reversed. There is certain energies, especially the creational energies, blocked within us. We might feel a certain blockage. It's not that we cannot access them, it's more like accessing them gives us a certain kind of discomfort. It's not the, I don't know, cheerful, joyous creational energy, but more like it feels like labor. But at the same time, this is where perhaps older seeds planted for some people a month ago, for other people in the spring, are just now coming to fruition. So this Ace of Coins means that perhaps the blockage of the creational energies is not really a big deal because there is also something already made, ready to be, used or had or whatever, presenting itself. So perhaps it is time to feed, in a symbolic way, because whatever presents itself to you is something that you need to use and integrate, so a symbolic way of feeding. But also the Six of Swords reverse, this is where travel plans, contracts, agreements, dates, times, things at job, there are going to be blockages. So it is going to feel like a intense Mercury retrograde week, even if it's not yet. But Mars, so expect a lot of miss, everything with miss and having to redo, go back. You forgot the key. You're not sure that you turned the light off, and expect these small inconveniences. But the King of Cups and with the High Priest, this is where we are also simultaneously going to feel like we're caught up in a certain kind of dream where, all these problems don't even matter as much. We want to figure out the mood. We want to figure out, what makes us feel the way. There is some kind of magic, some kind of mystery, some kind of perhaps serendipitous feeling in the air. And with the High Priest, well, it will really, really matter. So these two knights reverse, the coins and the wands, do suggest that we would do best to follow the allure of the magic and not give, all that much detail and attention and importance to all the things that, might go wrong, because those actually just set our timing. Delays, being late, others being late, dates, times, technology, software, etc. not working very well and causing, lateness of any kind. That's not necessarily all that bad this week, because it arranges things and timing to be even better. Maybe because of being late you'll meet that new person, even if you just walk on the street and make eye contact with someone who just catches your attention. That already creates an energetic connection with that person. In a day, 2, a week, maybe you will actually be having a conversation in one way or another with that person. So important links are gonna be being connected. So perhaps some delays are divinely orchestrated. So don't get frustrated. Don't get angry. So, or, Knight of Coins reverse. If the money doesn't come in when you expect it, but you still know that it's gonna come in, is it really the end of the world? Maybe what you need it for is gonna be solved before the money gets to you in a totally easier, effortless way. So, being late this time has a meaning to it. So don't get angry or frustrated and watch your temper. But even don't allow frustration to eat you up from the inside as well. Not expressing your rage is also that's not doing a lot of good. Simply try to calm yourself. 9 of Coins, as I said with money. If there is a delay or if there is something, a blockage of kinds, it's actually for the better, because, the 9 of Coins is a good material card, as in satisfaction either than the world. Yeah, there is something coming into fruition, coming to completion, so wait for it. Don't get upset or impatient. And let's use different kind of cards which are not tarot. Yeah. So this card kind of says, yes, let's soar above. Absolutely. Let's even soar above our own element. As in, our own element, not necessarily energetically, alchemically, but rather everything that we are good at. So let us dare to want to be even better than we are and not see that as arrogance for a short while in something. So this week you really, really need to show but a spiritual self-confidence, not necessary self-confidence per se, as in, let's say you are really good at a very good professional, and you have a task at hand where you kind of know you have to shine, but you're the kind of person, as in, I'm not gonna make a big spectacle even if I can, because I don't want other people to know how good I am, because that's not my. But maybe this week it would be good if you kind of I'm so sorry to use this really dirty and unlike me expression, but show your energetic P word, how big it is, regardless if you're male, female, taking action in that sense and, being good at something and not being shy to show it, do it, is a masculine type of action. So regardless of your gender, you energetically are still showing how good you are, if you know what I mean. And very well. So that is encouraged, and in a certain way, where you shouldn't really feel guilty or think that, it will get to my head, or oh, how arrogant of me, or oh no. Because this is a moment when the moment calls you, answer the call and soar above even your own element. You know what I mean? Dare to go extra far in what you're really, really good at. For some people, that can be you're a romantic person. The situation occurs, shine. Or you're a good cook and someone asks you, can you help me with this? Well, you could help them, or you could really make them happy, if you know what I mean. And this think and feel at the same time. Lightning, that eureka moment, the discharge, the change of luck, change of polarity, whatever it is that you want, is kind of triggered when there is strong energy in the heart, but also in the mind. But this isn't necessarily the nitty gritty, as in 2 plus 2 equals, or, how do I do this bank transaction or whatever. But the bigger kind, the big philosophies, because life is about the spiritual, I don't know, expression of my job, my career, my love life, my whatever is. So identify yourself within the divine game, and don't you even think or wanna think or go that I'm too small, or let me just give you an example. Well, I'm a cleaner, so oh my god, you are 10 trillion times more important than the Pope, for real. So, you, for example, whoever is a cleaner and listening to this, spiritually, you make sure that the rest of us, or whoever, whatever, is even in energy, in spirit, pure, as in flowing water. You flow water or your own watery energy through an object, window, person, clothing, software, because there's that kind of cleaners as well, or mental cleaner, someone's a hypnotherapist. But no. So the world would literally fall into chaos without you. So you see, what we think with human, subjective, human, social even eyes is so very much distorted to the truth. Because, so, or let's say that you're just a mom or just a dad, but you're spirited and you get what life is about. In the eyes of the divine, you're not just a mom, you're not just a dad, you're the archetype, the divine channel of nurturing energies into the world. Even if you only have enough strength to take care of one single child and no one else, nothing else, if you invest all your compassionate energies into that child will start working in the world. You've done everything, or more than you could possibly dream of. So, see our roles. Anyway, long story short, the philosophical higher thinking energy, do that. See it for what it is, and the lightning will sure to be conjured up. As in, when there's torrid, dry air, and all the requirements for lightning storm, of course there is gonna be one. Like, the exception is when that one time it passes and nothing happens. But most time it doesn't, when all the conditions are met for lightning, normality is when the lightning occurs, and surprise, surprise. That few occasion when it doesn't, well, that's the wow. So here, when it's there in the heart, the storm is there in the heart, The storm is there in the higher mind. Lightning will occur and some, soar above. Well, Sagittarius, Sun in Sagittarius, Sun consciousness, your role, your story, Sagittarius, higher thinking, ninth house, whatever. So, you need to be the primary subject of this. Adapt the Sagittarian expression, dream higher even than you normally would. And at the Sun quincunx Uranus, the surprise factor. But then there is other kind of Venus square Jupiter, the ruler of, and Venus is also in Sagittarius. Sometimes have the courage to overdo it. Oh, this is so... Because you get someone or something. Now the mermaid. And again Piscean energy. Well, the mermaid, what does that kind of mean? The show you put on delights. So much so that it is very well. When you delight more than one person with something, presume, and expectations and presumptions are the mother of all F-ups. But very rarely, sometimes it's really good to presume that you're delighting the divine. Because if you delight more than one soul, that's already the divine. More than one, two already, what you do to two at the same time, you're already starting to do to the divine. And the divine, just like another person, will react in a way. But the delight, it doesn't matter if you're the mermaid or if you're the knight sailor, because it's still okay. The role doesn't matter because the delight is gonna be there. But of course it can be a bit illusionary. But isn't that the honey of existence, really? Oh, I need to say no more. So just be free in creation. And maybe this message goes for people who either have a presentation, exam, like students, a show, singers, or if you're an artist, you need to either make that piece or put everything you have into this, but immediately, this week or next week. Or if you need to put on a show one way or another. Dare to truly do it. So I do hope this helped. Thank you so much, everyone, for all the love, all the support, for your very precious time to listen to my words and my channelings. If you'd like to support me and what I do, you can donate in the PayPal link in the description below. And thank you so much, everyone, for helping and keeping me alive. And until next time, bye for now.